What's going on, boys? This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be fun for me to record, and it's going to be fun for you to listen to. At least that's my hope. So I was about to just make a video about why you should always be closing and why you should always go for the pull. And what I realized is I think it would be much more entertaining for me to tell you guys a story of mine from early on in game where I already knew the idea, but this is the story where it got just so deeply implanted. And I think that this one girl, this one date, hooking up with this one girl on this one date, I believe that this one date led me to having results with tons of other chicks. It's a monumental moment in my journey in the game, which if you're new here, then you don't know. I've been in the game for like 10 years now. Over 10 years. Getting close to 10 and a half. It's insane. So I went on a date with a girl that I met from Night Game. I get her number. This girl's very hot. Around this time, she's absolutely like if this is like the average girls that I'm like hooking up with, she's like boom. She's up here. All right. Very hot chick. I run my game. Gamer. She's kind of into it, kind of not really sure. Get her number, hit her up. She's down for the date. Now, I'm completely sober at the time. I'm completely sober now as well. But at the time, I'm sober, and I invite her out to go grab drinks. Now, when we get to the date, she shows up, and she's visibly disappointed when I tell her I'm not drinking. She says to me, she goes, "Oh, I thought we were grabbing drinks. That's what you said." And I go, "Oh, yeah, I'm just trying not to really be on any booze right now." She's like, okay, do you mind if I get one? And I go, "Yeah, sure, of course. It's no problem." So the date starts off not so great. Again, visible disappointment. This chick is fucking hot. Do not forget, this is a hot brunette chick. She's around 20, I believe, 21. And because Ohio State bar, at Ohio State, nobody IDs. Nobody gives a shit. This chick's fucking hot, dude. All right, now, the night I met her, not a very exposing or revealing shirt. Just maybe like kind of up to here. You can kind of tell she's got, decent tits. And then on the date, same thing. And while we're on the date, a couple things here. Number one, I never really loosen up. I just never really get into that social flow. I feel like it's clunky the whole time. I feel like we're not vibing. I don't even know if she's really having that good of a time. Again, this is early on in game for me. And so in my mind, this is kind of shot. It's really not going anywhere. Now again, this chick's beautiful. And on the date, she is actually, this must have been, I remember meeting her in my leather jacket. And so on the date, I remember that she's in a big sweater. And so again, I can't really see these tits, right? But while we're on the date, she tells me that her friends have a nickname for her. And I can't say what the nickname is because then it would reveal her first and last name because the word big tits is integrated into the name. And so it's a name that just basically suggests that all of her friends talk about how she has huge boobs. And I just keep thinking about how big these tits are underneath this sweatshirt, right? And so I'm just getting more and more turned on because she's already hot. But then hearing that, oh, even underneath all of this, like the tits are even bigger than what I'm thinking they are. So I'm getting turned on, and there's all the mystery. There's all the mystery of what's happening. And so I'm getting more and more turned on, but again, I don't feel as though we have any vibe there. But I'm horny. I'm a horn dog. So I decide, you know what? I'm just going to follow the laws of the game. I'm just going to go for it. So what I do is I end up closing the tab. She had a couple of drinks. I think maybe we shared some nachos, something like that. I close the tab, we walk out, and she goes, and we walk out to the patio, and I grab her hand, and we just start walking down the street. Now, this time I had the best logistics you could ever imagine. I was legitimately a block from this bar, and so this bar would always be my number one date spot, because why not? I was gaming there all the time too. It was fucking amazing. So I start walking her. She goes, where are we going? And I go, oh, my place is just right down here. I just completely assume the pull. I assume the close. I assume the pull. Again, I wasn't feeling like it. This is like those days where you don't feel like going to the gym, but you go anyway. I wasn't feeling as though the vibe was there, but I assume the pull. And now here's the thing with this. The thing with like not having to just, would you like to come to my place now? You start leading the way, right? Even with night game polls, oftentimes, I'm going to start just leading them out of the bar. Women always have the free agency to say no. So just leading, telling a girl where you're going to go on a date, telling a girl we're going to go back to my place, telling a girl this, that, they have the agency to say no. So what you're doing is instead of making them make decisions, because as I always say from my old great mentor, Justin Wayne, he always taught me women do not want to participate in their own seduction. Seduction should be sweeping them off of their feet. That's what this line means. So we're walking, we get back to my place, and I don't do this as much anymore, but at the time I had a magic trick that I used. I had a card trick that I would use to get laid. So we're back at my crib, and again, we never really break down that final wall of comfort. We're just not vibing that much. But I bust out the magic trick, and the magic trick is it's really insane, actually. It's crazy. And by the end of the magic trick, when it comes down to the final card of the trick, the women are always blown away. They're blown away that this could ever possibly in any reality be their card. So we're doing it, and I finally have the last card. And I go, do you think this is your card? She's like, no, there's no way. And I go, listen, if this is your card, you have to let me kiss you. Or maybe I said, we gotta make out. You gotta give me a kiss. Something like that. She hesitates a little bit, but she's like, okay, fine. I flip the card over. Boom, it's her card. She literally almost falls back. She's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And I'm like, nope. She's like, how did you? And while she's just befuddled, I just grab her, we start making out. Hot and heavy, boom, sweatshirt comes off, big tits exposed. We end up fucking like crazy. We fucked 2 or 3 more times after that. It ended up fading away because she really opened up about wanting something more serious. But either way, I got it in that night and multiple times afterwards. And again, this one event, because experiential learning, this is why I'm such a proponent of you guys coming on my boot camps, because learning experientially in person, in the field, having a real experience around a lesson is the only way to actually learn that lesson. So having all odds against me in my mind, but following the laws of ABC, of always be closing, it led me to the promised land. I followed my game. I didn't change my game. I ran it all the way through. And since then, I've had tons of similar situations or situations where I thought to myself the whole time, this girl does not seem like a girl that's DTF. But I go for it anyway, and I make it happen. So guys, I'm telling you, for many of you, if you're a beginner especially, you're going out, you're doing day game, night game, you're having longer conversations with women, and sometimes you're just thinking, oh, I'm not sure if she's going to be down, so I'm not going to go for the number. Always go for numbers. Always then go for the dates. Always then go for the polls. Always, always, always. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that video. See you in the next one. Peace.